I have some new books to show you, along with a few books that I already opened but I have not shown you. I feel like it's been a really long time since I have done a haul. Oh my god, I'm pretty sure when I'm editing and I'm trying to put a picture over here of when I did a haul last time, it's gonna be like a couple of months, but that is a long time for me. Also, I have gotten many more books than this, but I have been unboxing books in the videos where I am reading those books recently. I don't want to repeat those books over here in this video. These are, I think, the 25 new books that I have gotten that you guys have not seen, and I am so excited to share it with you because it's a haul and an unboxing. Just that's it. I don't need to explain why I'm excited. It's a haul and it's an unboxing, and it's the best feeling in the world to be opening these packages with you guys. Hoping that you enjoy watching it as much as I do. If you like the video, like, share, subscribe, because that's the only way I know you enjoyed the video. And let's begin. Hey you guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing very nice. I'm sending a lot of hugs and positivity to all of you. Hi, if you're new, welcome to the channel. I really hope you enjoy the content, and if you do, please do consider subscribing. I have been dying to open these packages. I do have a box also over here, but I'm pretty sure that it only has one book, and I was actually waiting for a couple of more packages to come, but I just can't wait anymore because I was going to shoot this video on Saturday, and it's Tuesday today and I have waited long enough. Those packages will come when they have to. Let's unbox these packages, starting with an Amazon package that I ordered because I'm doing a YouTube video and I needed these two books for that video. Oh, actually, I don't need both these books. I need one of these books for the YouTube video, and one of these books is a gift to me by my brother. This book is gorgeous. Okay, I actually thought I'll get some sort of a pirated version, but this is gorgeous. First up, we have Educated by Tara Westover, which is a memoir, and it is, I think, one of the most talked about and recommended memoirs, even for people who do not read non-fiction, who do not read memoirs at all. And I'm not going to tell you which video I have gotten these books for because I don't want to talk about it right now. I have been recommended this book and When Breath Becomes Air like a million times by you guys. That blurb sounds so interesting. It is the story of Tara, obviously, because it's a memoir. She's the author, who is escaping her violent older brother. She has left home and she's going to understand the importance of self-invention and education. That is incredibly interesting to me, especially because it's a real story. Recently, I read a book called The Tiger Bills, and it was a real story, but it was reading like such a powerful fiction story that every single time I got reminded that it's real, I was like, whoa. Since then, I am looking forward to more books like this, like Tiger Bills. I want to read Matthew Perry's book. I want to read When Breath Becomes Air. I want to read all of these books because they're real stories and they're extremely powerful. Second book is The Bee Sting by Paul Murray, which I think was shortlisted for the Booker Prize. Yes, shortlisted for the Booker Prize award in 2023. It is so gorgeous. It is way more gorgeous than I thought it would be. I got this book because Utsa wanted to gift me something just randomly, and I wanted a really thick book. That was the number one reason why I got this book. Otherwise, I would have gotten some other book. It is in my list and blah blah blah. I will tell you all the other reasons too, but the number one reason I got it is because it's thick and it's floppy, and I am obsessing over thick and floppy books recently. I recently finished reading Binding 13 by Chloe Walsh, which is like really thick, and just the feeling of finishing a really thick book is gold. It's pure gold. The reason it even made to my wish list was because it is the story of a family where all of the members are hitting a wall and they are all going through some shitty time, and weird troublesome things are happening to them. We see them struggle as a family and how it affects the family. I love to see what families do under such circumstances. I am also watching Schitt's Creek right now, where the Rose family suddenly hit a wall, lost all their money, have to live in a town with nothing. It's exciting to see what they do as a family. Do they come together? Do they pull each other apart? What is it? Secondly, obviously, it was shortlisted for the Booker Prize. That makes the book interesting. The cover is really pretty. So I don't know what there is about this book that I don't like. Next up, we have this package which was sent to me by the author. I am being very careful right now so as to not ruin the book. I think it's a hardcover. It's really thick. Oh, it's not a hardcover. There's carton inside. Wow, it's so properly packed. Oh, and then it's packed again inside. Ugh. All out. This book is The Scent of Redemption by Shreyan Laha, and I think this is book 1 in the Redemption series. I don't think, I just read it. Why did I say I think? I know that it's book 1 in the Redemption series. I don't know much about it, but I know that it is set in the future and it has sci-fi elements in it. I already read a book by Shreyan Laha I actually read it last year. It's been so long. It's called Virtually Lost, and it was a very interesting concept. So when he told me that there's a new book that has come out by him, I was very, very excited to get it and read it and see what it is like. I've said it like a million times by now that I am trying to step into the sci-fi world slowly and slowly, and Virtually Lost was one of my first books. It got me really excited to read more sci-fi books because his writing is simple. Even if it is sci-fi, I'm actually able to understand what is going on. So I'm excited to read this one and see what happens. Next we have a package from Pan Macmillan. I requested for this book specifically because it is part of that video that I am doing. Let's see if you guys will be able to guess what video it is. I don't think many people will, honestly, but if you can guess it, put it in the comments. I'll see what it is. First I thought that I am not getting this book, and then I got a mail that, oh, it's in stock now, so do you like still want it? Are you still doing the video? And I was like, of course I am. Thank you, and I am so grateful. Let's go, we go. The book is Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel. This is what it looks like, and I am so happy that I have 3 books in the Pick It or Collection series. That is so cool. Being very real with you guys, I have no idea what this book is about at all. All I know is that this book is very important to that video, and now I have it in my hands and now I get to read it. Should I read the blurb? Actually, I don't want to, because I want to go into it blind. If you have read the book, let me know what you think about it. And I think that this author is popular for her other work, so if you know other work by this author, let me know. Next up we have this package from Penguin. I am expecting so many books from them. Okay. First up we have Dolly Alderton's Good Material. Dolly Alderton is so popular for her book called Everything I Know About Love, which I think also is a memoir, so I do want to read that too. I have a couple of friends like Ruth Oaki and Kriti. They are all obsessed with that book, and they're like, I will read anything written by this author, blah blah blah. And one of her books called Ghost was actually on my TBR for 2023, but I was not able to get to it. She has now come out with this new book, and look at that cover. It is literally gorgeous. It is the most colorful, the prettiest book ever, and it's the story of a breakup from a man's point of view, what the man does when he is going through a breakup. And I have read so many books, the stories of breakups, but from a woman's point of view, what women go through, and they go through this life-altering journey, and it's beautiful to see everything that they do. But I barely have read any book which is a breakup story from a man's point of view. That is what attracted me to the book the most, apart from the cover obviously. I feel like ditching everything that I want to read tonight and reading this tonight itself. The second book, I'm not ready for this. If Only I Had Told Her by Laura Nowlin. This is the second part. The first book is called If Only He Had Been With Me by Laura Nowlin, and I have talked about that book so many times because I was obsessed with that book last year. I read that book during the rainy weather last year. Started out with tragedy, and then it became really simple, and then it broke my heart in the end. But my biggest complaint from that book was that I did not get the point of view of Finn, and this book supposedly is from the point of view of Finn. I have seen a few reviews and I've seen people be a little disappointed with the book, and I also think that this book has more perspectives than only Finn's perspective. So I'm excited to see what Laura Nowlin did with the book, and I want to go into it without any sort of judgment and without any sort of expectations. I'm actually happy that I got the book really late. It came out in Feb, I think, and since then I've been trying to get it, but I didn't. I got it now, and I'm happy that I got it late because I had such high expectations at that time, and I was like going crazy to read the book. I think if I went into it with those expectations, I wouldn't enjoy it a lot. I wouldn't even give the book a chance to do its own thing because I would plague it with my own expectations. But now that it has been some time, I have read a few reviews, I have seen what people think about it, I know there are multiple perspectives, things like that. I feel more prepared to get into it. Though whenever I think about what happened in the first book and how I cried, I kept thinking about that book for days after I was done. In the end, with the boxes, we have this one box from Penguin that I got, and I think this is fairly open. I was actually worried when it came and I saw it and I was like, why does it look open? Like, you know, it shouldn't. But then it was also taped. So I was like, oh, okay. The book that I requested for, again, for the same video. I'm doing a lot for that video. That book is really thick. So many books for that video, they're really thick. So I think it's only, oh no, oh yes. The book that I got for the video is oh my god, every time I talk about it and every time like I requested for it and everything, I keep saying the Convent of, that's embarrassing. We have The Covenant of Water by Abraham Verghese. Now, I'm not even going to try and pronounce that. I'm really sorry if I'm butchering the name because I have already butchered the title of the book and I'm really embarrassed. But this is what it looks like. I think it is absolutely gorgeous. It is thick. It is floppy. It is Oprah's book club pick for 2023. And I think this is the story of generations of women going through a certain tradition. And I think it is set in Kerala. That is all I know about it, and the story and the thickness of the book has always intimidated me. But recently I saw a reel on Instagram. I'll link it in the description if you want to check it out. It was such an amazing reel that talked about this book. She is obsessed with this book. She has so many tabs in this book that really inspired me to get it for myself. And then I saw that this book was also required for me to read if I want to make that video, so I could actually choose another book instead of this one. But the amalgamation of all of these things together made me request for this book and get it. And now that I have it, I am so excited to read it. This is probably going to be the first book that I read for that video and I'm very excited for it. I have one more book in here. We have This Summer Will Be Different by Carly Fortune. Penguin India is doing a campaign. I will put the name on the screen and they asked me if I want to be a part of it. The campaign is about how romance books are not just about the feel-good rom-com-y vibe, but also how they can change your life, how they can change your perspective towards things. And I had to choose one book and I chose this one. Carly Fortune has written 2 other books, but I've not really heard the best things about it, and so I was never excited to read any book by her. I never bought it. It was not on my radar at all. It's not on my wish list, nothing at all. And then this book comes out and I have seen a couple of people that I watch read this book and really enjoy it. So when I got a chance to pick a book, I was like, I'm gonna pick this one up. I want to see what it is like. I want to see what her writing style is like, and I definitely wanted to be part of that campaign because I think the concept is really interesting. I am running out of romance books in my life, in my library. Sometimes I just go to my library because I've read something really tragic or something really brutal or heavy, and I want to read a romance book to chill out, and I can't find a romance book. So I'm happy that I have this. Let's hope it doesn't have too much trauma in it. Those were all of the packages. Now let's talk about all of the books that have already opened in the past few weeks. Starting with It Happened One Night by Mishti Misheri. I really hope I'm taking the name right. This is one of the most gorgeous covers. I love the knife she has on his throat and he's holding a gun, but she's wearing a lenga choli. I've actually already read the book. It's a story of Taran and Meena who have met under weird circumstances and they have secrets from each other, but they feel a pull towards each other like never before, and they're not able to take each other out of their mind. It has so much slow burn, it has so much steam, and it has a desi setting with Navratri and with a wedding and all of these beautiful references of being a desi person. It's beautiful to read their stories. I'm not gonna talk more about it. I'll talk more about it later. For now, I actually came across this book and I reached out to the author and I asked if I can read this book because it just sounded so interesting to me, and she was very kind to send it to me. She's also the sweetest person ever, and now I have it and I've read it and I love it and I'm so excited and happy about it. Next is Blue Sisters by Coco Mellors. I have read Cleopatra and Frankenstein by Coco Mellors. It's one of my 6-star reads. The way that book makes me feel, everything is my love, and now Blue Sisters is her latest release. It released this year. I got it a couple of months back and I actually started reading the book. I was also going to tab it, but I was not in a mood to read a book like this because it's also slow paced and I wanted to read thrillers at that time. So I knew that I'm not going to appreciate it as much as I want to, so I DNF'd it, soft DNF'd it. Now when I get done with the video that I want to make after reading a couple of more books that I want to read, I am getting straight to it. It's a story of 4 sisters. One of them is dead and we see the other 3 sisters cope with it, and it reminds me of Little Women. It reminds me of a beautiful, sorry, not Beautiful Sister, Hello Beautiful Beautiful by Anna Polidano. Both of these books are parts of my soul. I love both those books so much. So if you're giving me another story of 4 more sisters, I'm gonna take it. Very excited about this one. I was gonna say I'm really excited about the next book too, but I am only saying that for this video, ain't I? I got the next book because I saw Ruth Oaki get it, I think last year, and when he got it, I had the urge to instantly order the book for myself, but I was restraining myself a little bit because I was literally getting 30 books a month last year. So I was like, Anshul, I think you have enough on your plate. Calm down. When you really want to read the book, you can get it. And then this year, a few weeks back, he started reading the book, and then it came in front of my eyes again. And this time I was like, I'm not buying a lot of books this year. I think I can allow myself this little purchase, can't I? So I got it, and I am insanely excited about it. I actually got 2 copies of it, gave one of it to my friend. I have not even read the book, but I feel like it's my favorite book ever, and that's just crazy, and I think I'm setting way too much expectations on it, but it is what it is. The book is Ruth Oaki's The Book of Form and Emptiness. Do I need to say more? Form and emptiness? The Book of Form and are you kidding me? Plus I read the blurb of it. It's a story from a 13-year-old's perspective. What is better? Nothing. I am so excited to read this one, vlog this one, because it's really thick, and just chatter about it, chatter my heart out about it, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to love it. I'm predicting it to be my 6-star read. I'm so excited. Ruth Oaki also has predicted this to be his 6-star read, and I really do hope it is. Next is another book that I got for the video. We have Hamlet by Maggie Fallows. It has won the Women's Prize for Fiction in 2020. It has the most gorgeous cover, and I am not exactly sure what it is about, except I know Hamlet by Shakespeare, and this book has something to do with that. Some character in Hamlet that was not talked about properly, some person whose perspective we never got to see. This is from their perspective, and I know that's vague, and I can actually read the back of it and tell you exactly whose perspective it is, but I don't want to spoil it for myself, and I have to read it for that video, and I'm really excited about it. So you will see the review of this very soon, as soon as I'm done with that video, and so I apologize, but you gotta wait, just like I have to wait to see what the book is about. Maggie Fallows is also the author of I Am, and she has written a couple of other books. One at the top of my brain is The Portrait of a Marriage, something like that. I am basically obsessed with I Am. I think it is there in the Anshul Rani reading list because it completely shifted my perspective about life, about how I think about myself. When I read the book, I thought Maggie Fallows has only written that one book. I thought that it is not popular at all, because after that I kept looking for that book on Amazon and I would never find it. I never found it on Flipkart. I actually bought it for myself because I was getting it for 80 rupees in a Flipkart sale like years ago, and then I sat and read it and it was magical. But then recently, like by recently I mean like 2-3 years ago, I saw that she has this book. She has The Portrait of Marriage, and I'm like, she writes fiction and nobody told me about that. Like, I thought she just wrote non-fiction, one book, that's it. Because I have read I Am, I can sense how she will write, and I have read a couple of quotes from this book on Amazon when I was buying it. So I am so intimidated, but once again that video that I'm filming is motivating me to read it, and I'm so glad for it, because if I'm able to read this book easily, especially because it's also thin, I am so going to get all other books by her. I'll take my time to read it, but I'm so gonna get all the books by her. The next 2 books are A Psalm for the Wild Built and A Prayer for the Crowned Shy by Becky Chambers. It is a series. This is the first book. This is the second book, and they are literally gorgeous. This one I am pretty sure is a conversation between a monk and a philosopher. No, a monk and a robot. It is recommended to read for anybody who feels lost, for anybody who is lacking purpose, but it is a fictional story, so it's all obviously going to be inspiring. A conversation between a monk and a robot. Philosophical, meant to be read when you feel lost, when you want to find your purpose, and I don't feel lost and I don't lack purpose right now, and I think it has spiritual notes to it. Mix all of that up. What does it make? Anshul Rani's favorite book ever. It gives me strong The Alchemist vibes, and The Alchemist is literally one of my most favorite books ever. It sounds absolutely perfect because they're really thin. I'm pretty sure I'll get through it really fast, but that is exactly what I don't want. I want to read it slowly. I want to savor it. I want to highlight and annotate it, because sometimes when the books are short, I start reading it and I finish it in like one sitting, and once I'm done, I'm like, wait, that book was really good. I wish I read it slowly. Next, we have two books by Christen Hannah. We have The Great Alone by Christen Hannah, who is the author of The Nightingale, who is also the author of Four Winds, which is a book that I recently read, and I lost my mind over it. I have been getting messages from you guys telling me that you bought it after watching that video, and you are also obsessed with it and love it as much as me. That just makes my heart so happy. Granted, I have read only one book by this author, but I am so obsessed with it that I couldn't hold myself back from buying this one. It is The Great Alone. Did I say that? It is the story of a family trying to survive in Alaska. And the other book is The Women by Christen Hannah, which Mac very kindly sent to me because they know that I loved Four Winds and they know that I love Christen Hannah. They also sent me The Nightingale in the last haul, I think. So now I have 4 books by Christen Hannah. This one I think is set up in the backdrop is the Vietnamese War, and it's a story of a girl who's probably trying to find herself or trying to survive, something like that. I think so many of Christen Hannah's books, all 4 of them that I know till now, are stories of survival, stories of families and women surviving with each other, female friendship, and I love all of those things, and it makes me feel very grateful for my life right now, because these people are just trying to have a normal life, day-to-day stuff, very basic stuff that we take for granted all the time. So whenever I read these books, I feel very grateful and I see everything with a lens of gratitude once I'm done with them. Next, another book that Panmac sent me is Wellness by Nathan Hale. This book it's heavy. It's probably 1 kg. It's that heavy, and it has the thinnest pages on earth, and then it is this thick. That is the amount of content that's written in this book. It's just text upon text upon text, and I was so intimidated by it. But I read that it is the story of a marriage that is falling apart, but it is not a thriller. So I have never read books like this before. I have never read the story of love falling apart. This book is potentially the next Alone with You in the Ether for me. And if I actually did not read the first part of this book already, if it just started with the second part where they're married, I would actually think that I read Alone with You in the Ether, it ended, and this is the second part in a series because of how similar these two people feel to me. I mean, the characters are very different, but the writing style, the vibe, the way they feel about each other, it's all too good. And then I got so scared that this book is too good, so if I read it with intimidation, I won't actually absorb it in as much as I want to. I DNF'd it. Don't know when I will read it at all. I want to be very ready for it, and I have high expectations. I'm so excited. It's not funny because the first 60 pages gold. Next, we have The Ministry of Time by Kayleen Bratt, which is the story of the Ministry of Time, where this ministry actually takes people from the past wars who should have died anyhow, and they bring him to our time, to the present. And then we have the bridges. The bridges are supposed to take care of these people who have come from the past and get them acclimated with their surroundings. I started this book. I DNF'd this book because I felt like I'm dumb. It has elements of sci-fi in it and I don't understand it. If you have read this book already, then please motivate me in the comments, because I really do want to read it because it sounds so interesting. And the first 30-40 pages that I have read, the 2 characters are hilarious. I am absolutely in love with the cover, and the showstopper is the spine. It has this do you see that? And I'm pretty sure that these colors actually mean something, and I'll only get to know that once I start reading the book. So motivate me in the comments to read the book. Next up, we have Kyros by Jenny Erpenbeck, which is the winner of the International Booker Prize in 2024. The copy is actually ruined because my brother took it to Mumbai because he wanted to read it, and he left it in the rain. And Mumbai rains, you know what happens. But it's not ruined to a point where I can't read anything, and I feel like it adds character to the book, so I am not very mad about it. It is probably a love story, but not a rom-com, not romantic love, but more the story of obsession and what happens when passion takes over, but it is not a thriller. Sometimes I just randomly go through the books like this, right? So one day I was just going through the book like this, and I read a quote. It was just like this random line in the book, and it was so intense that I was going crazy. So next we have another romance, another rom-com, which I am very, very grateful for. We have Cheese Donuts Are Most Definitely Not Subpar by Melly Sujithro. I really hope I'm taking the name right. It is the ARC of the book. The cover is absolutely adorable and delicious. And what even are cheese donuts? Because if something like that exists over here, I want to have it. This is an enemies to lover romance that takes place in the workplace, and it says in the back that it is a slow burn rom-com. Always welcome a slow burn enemies to lovers workplace romance. Enemies to lovers workplace romance. Yes, always welcome. With that, we come towards the end of the video. Those are all of the books that I have received recently and gotten recently, and I'm so excited to read all of these books. If you enjoyed the video, please do like, share, subscribe. I'll see you guys again very soon. Bye.